What we try and do is show people in only 4 questions why Christianity is true. And if you can answer these 4 questions in the affirmative, in other words, if you can get evidence to the answers to these 4 questions and answer the questions yes, then Christianity is true beyond a reasonable doubt. Why are these the 4 questions? Truth, God, miracles, and the New Testament. Well, if there is no truth, obviously the Bible can't be true. You've heard people say there's no truth, or all truth is relative, or there are no absolutes. You've heard these things, right? Or they'll say, it's true for you, but not for me. Well, if that's the case, then obviously the Bible can't be true. Of course, if there is no truth, then any book written by an atheist can't be true either. Right? So obviously there's truth. In fact, there's a very simple way of pointing out there is truth. If someone were to ever say to you there is no truth, what should you say to him? Yeah, simply ask the question, hey, is that true? Is it true that there is no truth? Because if it's true that there is no truth, the claim there is no truth can't be true, but it claims to be true. I know that can give you intellectual constipation if you think about it long enough, but that's because it's self-defeating. It violates itself. It can't be true. Does God exist? Does God exist? It's the second question. How do we know God exists? There are several arguments. I'm just going to give you one. All the scientific evidence and even philosophical evidence points out that the universe itself had a beginning, that space, time, and matter had a beginning out of nothing. No space, no matter, no time. If that is the case, then the cause must be beyond space, time, and matter. In other words, the cause must be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. Now, when you think of a spaceless, timeless, immaterial first cause, who do you think of? God. God created the heavens and the earth. That's the best explanation for how we got here. There are several other arguments as to God existing as well, but I'll just mention that for now. The third question, are miracles possible? The Bible can't be true if miracles are not possible. Right? If miracles are not possible, then throw the Bible away and every other book that talks about miracles. But not only do we know that miracles are possible, the greatest miracle in the Bible has already occurred, and we have good scientific evidence for it. What is the greatest miracle in the Bible? What? Resurrection. It's a big one, but it's not the greatest. What is the greatest? Nope, easy. Simple. Huh? Creation. Yes, the greatest miracle in the Bible is the first verse. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. If that verse is true, every other verse is possible, right? I mean, if it is true that God created the heavens and the earth out of nothing, can he do whatever he wants? It's not logically impossible inside the universe? If he can create the universe out of nothing, can he raise Jesus from the dead? It's easy. If he can create the universe out of nothing, can he part the Red Sea? It's easy. If he can create the universe out of nothing, can he keep Jonah alive in a fish for 3 days? I mean, it amazes me. People go, I can't believe the Bible. It's got Jonah in there. Jonah! It's easy for a God to create the universe out of nothing. Right? Simple. The fourth question is what we're all driving at. Is the New Testament true? The New Testament doesn't have a prayer if truth doesn't exist, God doesn't exist, or miracles are not possible. But if truth exists, God exists, and miracles are possible, then we can see if we have an accurate, historically reliable account of miracles occurring in the first century to a man named Jesus and his apostles in the 27 handwritten Greek manuscripts we put under one binding we now call the New Testament. Do those documents tell us the truth, or were they written down by religious people who had an axe to grind? They lived much later than when the events occurred, and they embellished it and made it up. The answer to the question is no, we do know they told the truth. There's several reasons for this. I don't have time to get into them all now, but there's a lot of detail in the book about it. But yes, we are very, very sure that the New Testament writers are telling the truth. Now, some of you are looking at that going, what about the Old Testament? Do you believe the Old Testament's true? Yes, if the New Testament's reliable, you get the Old Testament thrown in. Why? Who's in the New Testament that can affirm the Old Testament? Jesus, right? If Jesus really is God, as the New Testament documents claim he is, now that's a big if, but if he is God, whatever God teaches is true. Jesus taught the entire Old Testament as the Word of God, so if the New Testament's reliable, you get the Old Testament thrown in. Now, I just summarized the whole book there, the 450-page book, in about 4 minutes, okay? But that's the big picture.
Pretty good.
Truth, God, miracles, New Testament, whole Bible.